Why would anyone who believes white supremacy is wrong remove the part of the bill that says white supremacy is wrong? Let me ask it another way. Is it fair
Mr. Tallarico, you asked me a question. You said, do you plan to concur or not concur? Do you plan to call a point of order on this bill?
I'm only a sophomore, but I do know from my 2 terms that questions come from this mic and answers come from that mic.
Actually, Mr. Tallarico, if you look at the House rules, we're allowed to have a discussion.
Mr. Toth, is it fair to say that any bill?
Do you not want to have a discussion? You asked me a question.
Mr. Toth, I know these questions are difficult, but you got to do your best to answer them. Is it fair to say
let's put the insults aside, Mr. Tallarico?
Mr. Toth, is it fair to say that any bill that strikes language condemning racism is a racist bill? Mr. Toth, we can move on to another question. This bill is teaching certain values. In Section FA1, the bill mandates that teachers teach an appreciation of participating in civic life, a commitment to the United States and its form of government, and a commitment to free speech and civil discourse. But we are choosing, in fact, you're choosing today not to teach students that white supremacy is morally wrong. So we are just teaching some values and not others in this bill. Is that correct?
Is there anything in this bill, Mr. Tallarico, that precludes the teaching of white supremacy?
Mr. Toth, does the bill mention white supremacy? Simple
question. You made a statement, and I'm giving you an answer. Again, is there anything in this bill that precludes the teaching of white supremacy?
Again, Mr. Toth, I didn't bring this bill, nor would I ever bring this bill as an educator or a person of conscience. But I want to ask you, do you think that the removal of this clear and simple language condemning white supremacy reveals that the true purpose of this bill is to teach our students a whitewashed version of American history?
No, absolutely not.
Mr. Toth, I just want to, you know that when there are differences between a House version and a Senate version of a bill, that our Ledge Council creates this little handy document that is a side-by-side comparison. You have this?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Toth, when you look at this side-by-side comparison with our House bill over here, the bill that we all passed, versus the Senate's
what page
version
are you on, Representative?
On this, if you look at this comparison...
I'm sorry, what page are you on?
I'm on page 3, but I'm not asking you about a specific page. When you look at this side-by-side comparison throughout the bill, it reads like a how-to guide in historical whitewashing. Are you aware that this new version of the bill from the Senate removes the writings of Frederick Douglass?
I am.
Are you aware that this new version of the bill from the Senate removes the writings of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.?
Yes.
Are you aware that this new version of the bill from the Senate removes the history of Native Americans?
The way the bill is laid out,
that's a yes or no question.
Because we were very clear that we could not be conclusive about every single document out there that we could. I'm going to give you an answer. This isn't a trial. I'm going to give you an answer.
Okay, I'm ready for the answer.
The way it's set out is so that a teacher can go to different documents in different authors by which to teach from. It's by no means meant to be a conclusive list.
Let me just ask you one more time. Are you aware that this new version of the bill from the Senate removes the history of Native Americans? It's on page 3 of the side-by-side if you don't have it in front of you.
Then I believe you.
Okay. Are you aware that this new version of the bill removes mentions of Cesar Chavez?
Yes.
Are you aware that this new version of the bill removes mentions of Susan B. Anthony?
Yes, I am.
Yet the new version of the bill from the Senate, this is not the bill we all passed as a House, but the Senate's version, it still includes the writings of Alexis de Tocqueville, and he's not even an American. Could that be because he's a white man?
Not exactly. And let me respond something to you brought up Susan B. Anthony. Are you aware, Representative, that Susan B. Anthony was an abolitionist?
Again, I don't have to answer questions about this bill because I would never file it.
No, we're having a discussion here, and there's nothing about me in the rules not being able to ask you a question.
From what I can see,
were you also aware that she was pro-life and that she fought against both slavery?
I know these are hard questions, I really do, but I need you to try to answer them. From what I can see, the new version of the bill removes all mentions of people of color and women from the legislation. Is that correct? Mr. Toth.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So by my count, the new version from the Senate, again, this is not the bill we passed as the House. This is the bill from the Senate. It removes 9 historical figures of color and 6 female historical figures from the bill, which means that all mentions of people of color or women have been removed from this bill. Is that correct?
I'll take your word for it, Representative.
Could an example of white supremacy, which we tried to condemn,
it also has
this bill,
in here the federal, if you look, it also has on here on page 4, it speaks very clearly to the Federal Civil Rights Act of 1964. What was the purpose of that?
Gentleman's time's expired.
Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Tallarico, for what purpose?
I raise a point of order against further consideration of the Senate amendments to House Bill 3979 under Rule 11.
Members, we're not going to have outbursts on the House floor.
Under Rule 11, Section 2 of the House rules on the grounds that the Senate amendments are not germane to this bill, and Rule 8, Section 3 of the House rules, and Article 3, Section 35A of the Texas Constitution on the grounds that the bill contains more than one subject.
Please bring your point of order down front.